guys, and welcome to today's Bitcoin breakdown. Of course, we are on Bitcoin against the US dollar, and in today's breakdown we are going to be discussing some really exciting stuff. So stay tuned to the end of the episode, because that's where you're really going to get the gold nuggets of this episode. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it. So again, like previously, I am going to start off on the 1 month time frame. This is just so that I can confirm the bias of the market. And again, like we've said previously, and this is not going to change, we are in a bearish channel, a very, very bearish channel. So moving on from here, we're going to go down onto the weekly. Also confirming that we have a lot of bearishness. Of course, there's been somewhat of a pullback, but as we can see, the EMA here, guys, still being respected. In fact, the EMA on the weekly, much as it is on the monthly, is ages away from where current price action is. Ages away. In terms of... there we go. If we can look at that in terms of a price point, absolutely massive, right? So then we're going to go move back down onto the daily. And this is where we're going to start getting to the nitty gritty. This is where we're going to start actually saying, okay, what's going to happen? What you can note over here in this area is a bit of consolidation. What can we see here? We're also playing around consolidation on this pivot line here. Now, what does that mean? Well, we've respected this pivot line, as we can see, and we've bounced off it. And now we're also respecting this pivot line, and then we are coming back up. So this is what shows to me that there may be some sort of counter trend opportunity that we can hop into, because we are bouncing off this pivot line here. If we go back to the weekly, right, there's obviously no pivot line to speak of. It's all the way down here. But if we go back onto that daily, we can see the pivot line on the daily chart is being respected on 1, 2, 3 days. Move down to that 4 hour. What can we see? Respecting it right here. If we can continue and draw out this trend line where this pivot line is, what do we see? That it's respecting it. But also, we can see that this pivot line up here is also being respected. So we're in an area of consolidation right now, guys. That's what's happening. We're in an area of consolidation. And what does consolidation mean? Well, it basically means that the market is in indecision. It's gearing up for a big move. That is what I am expecting. However, the question obviously is the market moving to the upside, or is the market moving to the downside? Well, that is why we had a look at the weekly and the monthly chart. They both confirm bearishness. In fact, even the daily chart, if we go back to it, still confirms bearishness. It's still moving down. The EMA is being really respected, just like on the weekly. It's so far away from price action. That means the market can still fall. But what I'm looking for here on this 4-hour chart is this. Now the EMA is no longer being respected, finally we get down to what's actually happening on a day-to-day basis, and we can see the EMA is not being respected until right now on this very hour. So what am I thinking here? I'm thinking if I'm going to go down to this 1-hour chart here, the EMA again still being respected. Of course, it looks like it's breaking through at this exact moment, but what can we see? High, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, and there's a bit of a lower high here. So what's happening? Again, it's consolidation. The market is just moving around, seeing what's going to happen. We've basically got another double bottom straight over here, guys. So all this is telling me, every single thing that I'm looking at right here, right now, is telling me that the market is trying to make up its mind and see what's happening. If we go back to the very first episode that I talked about, we noted this huge area of imbalance up here, and I said I didn't think it was going to go for it. Of course, what happened? It fell all the way back down, but now we're moving around again. So there's two possibilities that I am really concerned with. We are really respecting this pivot line. We are now on the 1st of September. We've been respecting it since the 30th of August, 31st, Now we're on the 1st. This is probably 3 days of respecting a single line. This price point, I should say, must be extremely strong. So I would be looking at this. I would be setting an alert right here for this price point. I'm adding alert right here. I don't want an alert just on the line because it could just wick through and fall back. What we're going to do, guys, is wait and see if it pushes up. If a candlestick closes above here, what I am going to be looking for is the potential for it to now use this, because we know it's such a well-respected line. Again, 3 days of being respected. The market's hitting it. If it comes down, if it closes above this line, it comes down and then it bursts off, which is going to look something like this, right? It comes up. We have a candlestick close down here. It hits this line, and then we see an immediate push to the upside. Now, I mean immediate. I don't want to be hopping in if it's doing something like this, guys. I'm not hopping in if it's just doing this, because it could just as easily come down. If it starts moving around like this, this is where we start to see M patterns form. And when we see an M, what does it mean? It means that the market is about to fall down. If I see this pattern and I see it suddenly start taking off, I'm going to hop in, and my take profit is going to be somewhere in this area. Again, why are we doing that? Huge imbalance. Huge imbalance. Is it going to go all the way up to the top? I very, very much doubt it. In fact, looking at here, we have a lot of room for it to still fall down. However, we can see a bit of a reversal happening here. If it continually wanted to go down, it might just be doing something like this, something we've already seen. The worst of the drop could already be over, and I think what we're going to be seeing is a bit more consolidation, the market moving very slowly upwards. However, if we do see a massive push to the upside, I'd be going in, I'd be seeing my take profits here. How long is it going to take until it gets there? I don't think it's going to happen this week. Obviously, it's a Thursday, so Thursday, Friday, I don't believe it's going up. We already had one really good prediction on the Monday. Could have netted you 2, 3, 4%, but I'd be hopping in somewhere around here and then aiming for this area. Where would I be aiming for specifically? If I wanted to play it really safe, it would be just here at the start. Or even if we wanted to be extremely safe, here at this line. Right where all this consolidation, this little blip in the downwards move, there's obviously some sort of order block in there. So I'm looking for this, guys. If we see this occur and it starts to really pump up, so I'm talking about a candlestick that would look something like this, right? Comes here. We have another one that shoots down. Let's make this one red, right? We'll say this one's red. Black means it's going up. I would want to see this. I would want to see a massive candlestick to the upside. That is the pattern that we're looking for. We want to see a completely massive engulfing candlestick. That's where we want to start hopping in. Obviously, this is not to scale, guys. It's not to scale, so that's not what we want. But I want to see this pattern. I want to see it come up, break above this line, come down, do a retest, and then shoot up. However, you will also note that I did say there's two possibilities, right? The other possibility is that this pivot line here is going to stay respected. So what would I do? I would actually be waiting for it to come up and then start to fall back down. So where would I put my alerts? I would actually be putting it here. Why would I be putting it here, guys? Because there is a lot of liquidity in this area. A lot of people are going to be hopping in around here. So what the market might like to do is come up, fake it, and then shoot all the way down. A lot of people are going to be getting in. There's going to be a lot of orders in this area. A lot of people thinking that first option might be the best option, the only option. We want to watch out. If that pattern that I just discussed before does not happen, we really want to see it come up, hit here, much like this, but we want to see an immediate fall to the downside. Again, we want to see a big push to the downside nearly immediately. Hopefully, that makes a lot of sense to you guys. You understand what's going on, and hopefully this week we can get another massive win just like we did here. Just like we did here earlier in the week. Get another 2, 3, 4%, much like myself. Anyway, guys, that is it for this breakdown. I hope you've really enjoyed it, and I will speak to you in the next breakdown. Bye.